Whatcha Makin, a podcast about sharing ideas and connecting with the maker community. Your hosts are Alex Adams, an engineer turned furniture maker of time-made furniture, and the knitting pretending to be a woodworker, Alex Duffey of Duffey Woodcraft. Whatcha Makin is proudly sponsored by Next Wave CNC.
Welcome to Whatcha Makin. This is a podcast where we talk all about what's on our bench, spotlight makers throughout the community, and remind you that due to March Madness in the United States, the first week of the tournament sees a 50% surge in vasectomies as men use the recovery time to watch the games. Tonight's main topic is advertising for small businesses with a special guest, but more about them in just a moment. I'm Alex Duffey of Duffey Woodcraft, and you can find me on Instagram and on YouTube at Duffey Woodcraft.
And I am Alex over at Type A Furniture, and I love March Madness, but I don't like vasectomies, so there you go.
Yeah. If you... sorry. I can't speak tonight. I'm so sorry. You know who might actually like vasectomies?
Our patrons.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to support the show and be a patron without getting a vasectomy, you can head on to patreon.com/whatchamakinshow. We could maybe put in a tier there if you have a vasectomy, a special tier just for you. But you'll have to message us and let us know. So for as little as $5, you can become a patron of the show and help us continue pushing out this madness, which is, as of right now, still February, but not March quite yet. But it will be March Madness.
It'll be March when this airs.
Yes.
Whatcha Makin is proudly sponsored by Next Wave CNC. If you're looking for the best CNC on the market today, look no further than a Shark CNC from Next Wave. 100% American made in Perrysburg, Ohio. Next Wave is the leader in desktop CNCs with sizes from a 1x1 to a 4x4. You'll find the machine that is right for your shop. And they're going to be running some pretty awesome specials this month, so check out their socials for those specials. Yes, Alex?
So if Jeff at Maker's Way can tattoo himself with a CNC, could he also give himself a vasectomy using a CNC?
I think that is a great challenge. Everyone at Jeff at Maker's Way and hashtag CNC vasectomy.
I think that'll be a new trend.
I think so. Well, if you're watching on YouTube, you've noticed the third face in the window today. Our guest tonight... is the man behind 1010 Woodworxs, a master epoxy craftsman, a cutter of all custom foam inserts, and the host of Against the Grain podcast. Please welcome Jeremy Hilliard.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Jeremy, how you doing?
I appreciate it. I'm well. How are you? Real good.
Good. Welcome to the podcast. So tell us, for our listeners who may not know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah. So started back in the COVID area, 2020, roughly. I was playing a lot of cornhole, and I realized that nobody around here made cornhole boards. So I was running a print shop at the time, and I thought, man, I could print the decals for the cornhole boards and get them on there, make a nice product, and sell those to, all the guys around here. So it ended up taking off, and here we are. I don't make cornhole boards anymore, but Baltic birch went through the roof, and I just switched gears. So I started building more than I could handle and playing at the same time. So I had to choose what was going to make me money, what was going to cost me money. So I started into the business side of things a little bit more. Decided to get a CNC for newbie in 2021, and I just found it locally on Marketplace, the dreaded Marketplace finds. Have to have them. But it was
absolutely,
I thought, I'll use that to just cut the holes, because it was only a 30-inch by 30-inch machine, and I found out that wasn't the faster way to do things, but I had the machine, so I started cutting some flags and some signs for local guys and stopped building cornhole boards. And as you said, started into the epoxy world, the foam world, and that's where we are today. So I bought the Onefinity in 2023, and it's been uphill ever since. So that's how we got to where we
Nice,
are.
yeah. Yeah, you and I met online, and I can't remember when, but probably like 2 years ago or so.
Yeah.
Right?
It was it was from Luke. Luke was doing a sign
That's
for
right.
you. And
Yep.
he needed some stuff cut out, so. And Luke's local to me, so.
Yeah, and I had you make me a couple of banners, which we'll get into advertising here in a little bit, but I've had you make me custom banners. And you are a fellow Wise Bond Epoxy influencer. So,
Absolutely.
Wise Bond Epoxy.
Absolutely.
So you're telling me you
They're
guys
great.
didn't meet with that magical question ASL?
No, we did not meet that way.
Then.
That's how you and I met, Alex.
Just trying to find a common thread.
Yeah, no. I wish, but no. Man,
well,
back
with
in the
that
AIM
note,
days.
What you doing?
Yeah. All right. So on the bench this week, so for me, I'm still kind of in the throes of some YouTube projects. I really didn't do much this last week as far as those, so that'll be my theme the next couple of weeks. I've got a reclaimed wood project, my guitar, and a couple others that I'm working on. What the main thing on my bench was, I was finishing up all the new peg dice games on the laser for a market I had this past weekend, which I'll talk about in the what you're selling section. But the dice games cut out all really well. I was getting nervous because the last few pieces of leather I needed were delayed due to all the snow in Texas. So they didn't arrive until literally the night before. And so I was quickly cutting out last minute. So that was frustrating, but also, fine. It worked. And then the other weird thing I've been doing is not making related whatsoever. I've been playing with these little Meshtastic radios. Have either of you heard of Meshtastic?
I haven't.
Not specifically, no.
So it's an off-grid texting capability. The idea is that this connects to your phone via Bluetooth, and it uses the same radio frequency as like ham radios do. And it's so that way when the cell network goes down and you can't access the internet or anything, you use this and it connects to all the other devices on the same frequency, and it passes messages back and forth to then get to whatever receiver you want it. So like if I have a receiver on the other side of town, which because I have two of them, if I have one with me on the other side of town, my wife can text me and say, hey, the earthquake happened. We have no cell service. Meet me in Minnesota or something, like that's the option. And so it's kind of a prepping thing, but also just, it's really fun technology to work with. So I've been playing around with that the last couple of days.
So what's the range on one of those? I mean, obviously you had mentioned there's a mesh aspect of it, but if there's no one else in the mesh network around, how far can you get? Yeah,
not that far. It is line of sight. So it is the one that I'm currently using, this little guy here. It's just a tiny companion. It can go about half a mile. And I have in my window, I have a repeater that's solar powered too. And it's because these are so low powered. The nice thing is the little tiny solar thing, which is about this like a 4x6 card, will power that thing continuously as long as you have it charged to begin with. And so I have that in the window, and that supposedly can go 2 miles. But I'm a little bit out of valley at the moment, so I'm having trouble connecting to some people. I also don't know if I've optimized my settings yet, so I'm still trying to figure all that out. But
So does that just
It's,
go
you know,
through
new tech.
right? Does that just go through your phone for the message? So it would go from the phone to that,
Yes.
and then
Yeah.
that's
So
cool.
you use the MeshCore app, and then you just text. It's basically just like a little texting app that has also a way to connect via Bluetooth to the device. So
That's super cool.
So the whole idea, like people will use these two, like if they go hiking or so, and they'll put one on, and at their base camp with their friends, and the other one they'll have with them, and that way they can communicate back and forth while they go hiking. So it's neat.
What was it called again? One more time.
Meshtastic.
Meshtastic.
Yep. There's a whole subset of it. I'm actually on MeshCore, which is a different frequency, but it's the popular one in the Pacific Northwest because you can get all the way from basically San Francisco all the way up to Victoria, BC with this thing. With all the,
okay, so it
network.
uses LoRa. Okay, I'm familiar with LoRa.
Yeah.
LoRa is long range radio, LoRa. I have a lot of experience with that at a ag IoT company a while back, so I am very familiar with a lot of that stuff. They use the more proprietary version of it instead of the more open source version of it. So I did a couple of things to do that. So yes, it's a very interesting radio setup.
Yeah, it's a fun.
Awesome.
If anything, it's just it's fun electronic hobby for me. So something a little different from doing stuff with wood. What about you, Jeremy? What it's been on your bench this week?
Oh, this week we've got we've got foam that just got delivered today, so I'll be waist deep in foam chips here in the next couple days. I'm working on a little knife display epoxy block kind of thing, incorporating some 3D printing into that as well for my desk setup here at home. I went down the rabbit hole of desk setups, and it's just it's downhill. But then I got my first long form YouTube video coming. I'm being worked on right now for a couple different brands, and super excited for that. So just started posting shorts and stuff over there that are seemingly doing pretty well. So I'm new to the whole YouTube thing, but it's working. So other than that, just
Lots
trying to
of
create
patience.
content. Oh yeah. And the editing takes so much longer than I anticipated. So much longer. But I mean, it's all working. It's doing good. So
That's why I just don't do it.
I was like, that's Alex's kryptonite right there.
It really is.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of foam do you primarily work with?
Just toolbox foam from like Uline. That's what I'm cutting mostly. Just 2.5-inch thick foam. I've got a local treasury that sells these. They're 12 by 15 like casino boxes. They got like some silver coins that go in there and holds 2 decks of cards, some poker chips, and some dice. So I cut all those for them, and they put them in their boxes and sell them. So
Nice.
Yeah,
keeps
it
me
is such
busy.
a unique business because I don't know anybody else that does that, and it is such a niche business, but at the same time, like that, you've got to think there are tons of these companies that need custom foam inserts, and a CNC is just perfect for that.
What I'm trying to figure out is how I can take, like, if they send me a picture of like, say, their camera gear or whatnot, I can size everything, trace it all out, so I can send them a custom insert without having their stuff here, if that makes sense. For whatever box that they're using it in, and backpack box. I've seen some people use it for their gym bags and stuff like that as well. So it's there's a million different avenues to go. You'll see a lot of the toolbox guys they have their drills and their screwdrivers and wrenches and everything inset in foam. So all the way to music instruments, gun cases, stuff like that too. So it's never ending.
Yeah. Well, and with that, so I just had to do that with the guitar because I'm trying to copy a template from a kit that I have.
Oh, okay.
And I was trying to copy this template exactly. So actually an idea for you would be, what I ended up doing was using a monopod and make sure that it was exactly at 90 degrees above, took a picture with my cell phone, but I also put wherever it is here, somewhere on my desk, which is a mess at the moment. Oh, there it is. I put a little 8-inch ruler on it. And so when I took the photo, then when I took that photo and brought it into Vectric, I then sized the picture to a box that I created that was 1 inch by 1 inch and matched it on the ruler so that they were exactly the same. And that way I knew exactly the right sizing for everything.
Right. No, that's a good idea.
You could
What's
try
that mark at the 2-inch size in that ruler?
Huh?
I'm just messing with you.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, here's that finger for you. Ass. Anywho, no, that was more at the 3-inch line, so you missed that.
It was 2 3/4, but we call it 3 inches.
Round
up.
Yeah,
it's close enough.
After the vasectomy.
No, that's after the other one, circumcision. Anywho, but that's how I did the kit. So that might be something to think about for them, that they could then just take the photo that way with some kind of measuring device.
Yeah, I just followed a guy on TikTok this morning. Actually, he puts it on a notebook piece of paper, like a printer paper, and then there's a website to upload, and it sizes everything, and it'll even outline the thing for you. So I'll have to go back and figure out what that was, but I can send that to you as well. So it looks pretty cool. I haven't messed with it at all, but yeah.
Well, doesn't Shaper have something that does similar stuff? It has like a outline bracket or something, and I think you have to like pay for a companion app or something like that. But I don't know what size that takes in, but that's always intrigued me that that's at least out there.
Yeah, no, that's super
well,
cool.
and there's always those handheld 3D companion things too. And so I've been trying to figure out, I want to get one of those and play around with it too, because I think it'd be kind of fun to scan some devices and then have your CNC cut out the 3D file from what you're scanning.
Well, that's what Patrick at Crafted with Machines does a lot with form fitting stuff, because he'll go as far as 3D printing to the actual shape, so it's getting all of the fun little contours and stuff. So I know that he's done that a couple of times, but I don't know what kind of scanner he's actually using. I forget. I don't know off the top of my head.
Nice. Anything else on your bench this week, Jeremy?
I don't think so. It's been a pretty chill week. Just trying to create content. So trying to push it out there.
Aren't we all? Alex, what about you?
Let's see. So I continue to work on the walnut table. So I've got, because I think the last time we talked about it, I wasn't quite finished cutting the straight edges on all of the boards after I had found my saw was out of square. So I had a few of those left. And then we also had a family health emergency thing pop up that kind of ate into some normal time. So I didn't have a whole lot of things that I did, but of the things that I did do, I did also get some of those boards lined up because they are at various lengths. So I was getting them lined up and then marking, so then I can get ready for putting in dominoes to line stuff up and then go ahead and get those glued up. So I've got everything lined up properly. So how I prepped for that was I marked a white line using the white mechanical pencil chalk that I use to the basically the furthest extent of like, this is how far I can go on this end and how far I can go on this end. And then I also marked the 48-inch length on there as well, because that's the length that these boards have to be, since they go across on the table. It's actually the width of the table with these boards. So I got that marked on there, and then after I got all the boards lined up with all of those marks, I kind of started messing around with some of the previous pictures that I had taken when I had the customer over to like basically orient the boards and everything. So I had some other chalk marks and stuff on there to like know which board goes where. But then I did more fine tuning adjustment on lining it all up. And then I actually have it's like a green chalk mechanical pencil that I use to draw that like final line of like, this is where they're all going to line up. So I drew it from board to board. And
Nice.
so I got out my, so I still had my straight edge to like roughly line everything up. And then I went, since these are, boards are almost 6 inches wide, I just used my square to mark each board and then a starting mark on the next board. And then I would continue on and just make sure, I would occasionally check with that straight edge to make sure I wasn't like drifting one direction or the other. So I've got plenty of room to play on each of the sides, because I know what I want to do is when I actually glue these up, I want to leave as much board on there as possible. So then if I have weird squeeze out on the ends or whatever, I can just cut it off and I've got a nice clean edge. So I'll probably, once I do have it actually glued up, I'll probably do like a cut that's close to that line, but not exactly close, just in case I have weird stuff going on or a little bit of chip out or any other weird things. Because I'll probably do some filling of some voids and do some sanding possibly. Oh crap, it just occurred to me that I should probably mark it on the bottom and cut from the bottom so that I've got a cleaner cut on the top. So I should probably transfer that line onto the other side, which is just fine, because if I mark the very start point and the end point and just have those marked up, I can line up the track of my track saw and it'll be just fine and it'll line up all right. But yeah, that just occurred to me. I've been doing a lot of flipping, as you can tell, with these boards to like the show face and then what the other face looks like as I'm getting those cuts. And then moving on from the top portion of the table, I grabbed some more of the material for the aprons. The apron that's going to go around the table. So I haven't selected that material yet because I had just gotten last week the table extensions. So because I was like, I needed to get that in and make sure I know, all right, this is the depth of that table extension, and make sure I've got enough of the apron to cover that. So now that I've got that hardware, I know how deep I need to go on those table extensions, but those boards don't have to be nearly as long, since those aren't going the full width, so they only need to go it'll be less than, let's see, it'll be closer to probably a little bit above 3 feet. I haven't decided exactly how much on the overhang I want to do, since I just kind of figured out how much apron coverage, because I want to have that ratio be visually appealing. So, but I should have plenty of length on boards that I need for that, so I'm not super concerned about that. I'm more concerned about getting the marks for lining up the dominoes that'll act as alignment pins for the table leaves and things like that. I'm more concerned about that stuff because that one's a little bit more mission critical, because I think all of this stuff is just occurring to me in like various stages where I'm like, yeah, I'm probably going to need to like put all of these extensions and stuff in and then do all of my like sanding with all of that level surface so that I'm not getting like weird level stuff with the dominoes. So I getting a glimpse into my mind going through all of the different steps and how to do the alignment and everything like that to make sure that stuff lines up how I actually want it to, because which step goes before which one can definitely affect how stuff looks in the long run. So some of this stuff, it's just like you don't think about it until you're just about ready and you're like, oh yeah, I need to do this, as you just witnessed a few seconds ago. But that's pretty much what I have been working on. So I'm sure I'll still be working on more table stuff next week. It'll hopefully just be a little bit further along and fewer 4-letter words, hopefully, than I anticipate.
What size is the top that you're working on?
So before it gets expanded, it'll be 4x8, and then when it's expanded, it'll be
Okay.
4x11.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
it's a pretty hefty boy. It's about, gosh, I can't remember the thickness off the top of my head. It's close to like 1 3/4 thick.
Dang.
So it was milled up from my neighbor's backyard, and we're turning it into a dining table set. So that's the overarching
That's awesome.
project that goes with this one. So it's been very interesting because of all the voids and stuff that have slowed down everything, filling with epoxy, pulling out nails, all sorts of things that just gradually slow the process. So it's a
sure.
fun project, but it can get very tedious because you're like double checking yourself all the time.
Yeah, every step.
Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it.
Jeremy, anything breaking on your bench this week? You're not going well?
Thankfully, no. Thankfully, not yet. Anyways, the week is young. No, I don't think so. Other than the weather. I mean, it's cold over here right now, but other than that, no. I mean, everything in the shop's running good. Epoxy's pouring good. Foam's cutting good. So I'm in good shape on that aspect. Nope. I'm good.
Nice. Yeah, I'm there with you. I've had a good week as far as nothing breaking.
Yeah.
Alex.
all of the stuff has been purposeful breaking. So one thing that I'm doing with my son is he has his science fair coming up. And so we did some 3D print stuff last year because he's enjoyed doing that. And so this year what we did was we're doing basically a comparison against different types of filaments for just basic strength. So what we did was we just did a 10 millimeter by 10 millimeter square that is 150 millimeters long. And what we did is we clamped that to a table. So 50 millimeters was clamped down and then 100 millimeters over the edge. And it had a hole there that we were able to hang weight from. And we just took it to failure. So what we did in this test is we had several different materials that we had on hand. So we had PLA, PETG, silk PLA. We had clear PETG. We had some TPU, and then we had some carbon fiber infused PLA. So what we did was we used we have these we've got a few at-home weights that we used, as well as we had a bunch of those half water container, little water bottles, because each of those little half water bottles, since they're 8 ounces, that's just a half pound. So since we had plenty of those, we went in half pound increments as we were doing this, and we did we tested 3 pieces for each filament so that we knew we got consistent results on everything. So we had some stuff that was stronger than we thought and some that was weaker. So we had some interesting results that we'll put together for that. So it was a lot of fun to do with him. It was a little it gets a little tedious when you're doing 3 of those for each of that, because that adds up to 18 total items that we did that break test on. So it takes a little while to do all of that. Of course, we wore our safety glasses and everything, but we did it in the dining room. That's the table that we used. So that was a fun little experiment. And then the other thing was I cut off my butt. The buttstock of my son's BB gun.
It's like, what the hell just happened?
Oh, we're back to the anything, huh?
Exactly. It comes full circle.
But
well, I guess it doesn't come full circle, but so in the 4-H BB gun shoots, they basically have everyone use the same style of BB gun. But one thing that you are allowed to do is you can cut the stock a little bit shorter, because as some of the kids are younger, that stock can be a little bit too long, so it's harder for their hands to hold it, because they're like really far away from their body if that stock is too long. So I took that on the bandsaw and did just a nice little gradual curve cut to kind of match the profile that was in the back of the buttstock. It's kind of got that slight curve to match up with the shoulder. I mean, it's not that crucial because obviously BB guns don't have like a lot of kickback. But the main thing was to shorten it up a little bit for him. And it did help, but it changed how he shot with the BB gun because it was different. So there's a little bit of adjustment there for him. But overall, I think it's going to work a lot better for him, because I think we shaved it down. Oh gosh, I didn't actually measure it, but it was probably just shy of about 2 inches that we cut down. So, and I was actually like, I got a nice clean cut on that as well. It was a lot cleaner than I anticipated it to actually be. So I didn't like go back and sand it all. I was like, yep, this is good enough. I'll just leave it unfinished on the back of this, because who cares? If we need to make any changes, we will, because they said that you could always either glue it back on or put screws to bolt it back on if after they grow they need it to be a little bit bigger to fit their body. So that was an interesting one. I did film it, so I could probably throw in a reel. It looks interesting pushing a BB gun through the bandsaw. Very interesting thing to see run through the bandsaw.
It's very different.
Can't say I've heard anybody do that.
Yeah, you're unique in that aspect.
Well, I mean, Jason over at Bourbon Moth, like, he made his own shotgun stock. What was that? A few weeks ago, I think. So he already beat me to that punch. So he's already, I mean, obviously his is super cool because he did the whole camo pattern thing and all that. So it won't be that cool, but it'll still be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people that will make their own gun stocks. I mean, Gobi Walnut here in town, they literally have a gun stock section of cutouts of blanks you can buy from them. So like it's a common thing.
Well, yeah, it's just like buying guitar blanks where it's like, yeah, they've got to have something ready because people want to make their own.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Shut up and take my money.
So for the selling, so I had the BrewFest at the A Casino this past weekend. So last year, it's a 2-day event. It's it's Saturday, Sunday. Saturday, there are 2 4-hour sessions. And then Sunday, there's 1 4-hour session. So last year I did 2,100 for the weekend. This year I ended up at 25. So it was a good weekend. The new dice game sold really well. I sold at least one of every of the new dice games, and then I sold like 8 of the dice or the travel cribbage games as well. So those went really well.
So the new dice game being your pegging dice game?
Yes, my pegging dice game. Yes. The pegs.
Happy International Women's Day.
Yes. Anywho, yeah, so those went really well. It was kind of a broad spectrum of most things that sold. It wasn't like one hitter. I'd say the dice, I keep saying that. The travel or pocket cribbage, those were my number one seller throughout the whole weekend. And what was interesting is session 1 was slammed, and I made like 1,300 that session. The second session, the next 4 hours, was a little less, and I barely made 800. And then Sunday was like barely 350. So it was funny how it just went with it it got worse throughout the weekend, but that it was like everyone wanted to go Saturday morning or Saturday early afternoon. So usually it's a little bit more equal throughout the whole time.
Was it just you and Victoria, or did you?
Victoria was there Saturday. She had a upset stomach on Sunday, so she didn't come on Sunday. So it was just me on that, which was fine because it was boring. And man, I got to tell you, whoever their DJ was Sunday was not the same guy from Saturday, or if it was, he was on drugs or something, because it was like me and that my vendor friend who was next to me, Ashley, I looked at her, I was like, Ashley, I feel like I'm getting whiplash from this music, because we would be listening to like some weird country song and then it would switch into metal. And then from there it would switch to rap. And it was just like, there was no semblance of a playlist whatsoever. It was just like whatever this guy's, acid dream he was on thought of the next.
Sounds exactly like the DJ for my wedding reception.
And he had the worst transitions too, because it would be like you'd finally like be in the mood and it'd be in a good chorus or like in the third or in the refrain, and all of a sudden he'd be like shadow fade to whatever the new not good transition song was, and it was just like, what are you doing, dude? So yeah, it was weird. So I was glad she wasn't there. I told her, I'm like, don't tough it out, like just stay home. I don't need your help, like it's fine. But yeah, so it was good though. Besides the sales doing well, I have a lead for another retail location from somebody I met there. I met one of the owners of a florist in the shop in the area that also sells gifts. So she liked my products and she wants me to reach out. So I will be doing so probably tomorrow. And then I also, one of the sales, I had those, I talked about them during the winter. I made a whole bunch of these cheese knife sets that are 6 knives that I got from Temu for really cheap. And then I lasered a logo on them and, reselling them. They're a great markup price piece and a good gift item. The guy is a realtor and really liked them for closing gifts. So he bought me out of them. And he took my card to reach out to buy more when he needs more. So that was pretty cool.
What did he want engraved on those?
So the ones I had there were these little, like a combination of flowers and leaves on each knife. Okay. And so I had 10 of them on hand there. And so he bought all 10. But he asked if I could do other things. I said, yeah, I can design them. If you give me a logo, whatever, like I can do whatever you want. So that'll be cool if that comes through. So it was a really great event. Good sales, couple of leads. So really excited. Gave out a lot of cards. People asked for a lot of cards. So hopefully that means...
I forget, when you lasered on those, did you just leave it flat, or did you actually need a rotary for those cheese ones?
Nope, they're flat. They're a flat handle.
So the actual handle has a flat portion?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's rounded on the edges and that's flat on each side. So I laser them on both sides too. So
gotcha. Nice.
Yep. Yeah, they're super simple, and you buy them for $5 a set on Etsy, and I turn around and resell them for $30 a piece. So
nice.
Good deal.
Can't beat it.
Yeah. So that's what I was selling. Alex or Jeremy, did you sell anything this week?
Go ahead, Alex.
No, I've not really been in sales mode. I've just been mostly in working on stuff that I have for past orders, because it's mainly just been that working on that dining table set, because I'm kind of in this transition phase of wanting to do some smaller stuff, so I'm kind of getting all of the previous orders taken care of, and then I also have track starting up here soon, so that the coaching for that will change my schedule a little bit, so I'll have a change in schedule as well, so I'm adapting to some of those. But I think here in the next couple of months I'll probably start doing a little bit more active selling once all that stuff kind of evens out.
Nice. Awesome. I cut him off. What were you going to say?
It's fine. No, I was just gonna say I actually had a kind of a funny sale this week. I do
Yeah.
these like little 6x12 cornhole trophies for this local guy, and he runs like monthly tournaments, so I just do all his trophy work for him. But one of his guys came to me and said he won a tournament. Actually, it was the end of 2024, but the trophies they gave out were just trash. And he wanted me to create a trophy for him and his partner to like commemorate their big win and what they had. So taking somebody's crummy trophies and turning them into something cool. So that was a fun one. But that's pretty much the only thing. I mean, go ahead.
Did they have you use the materials from that other one, or did you start from scratch?
No, I just started from scratch the same way I do it.
Okay.
Their trophy was actually just the round cutout from a cornhole board, and they slapped a sticker on it. Didn't seal it, didn't finish the edges, nothing. So it was janky, I will say that. And it's a big tournament too, which is crazy. So, but yeah, they seen the ones that I did, and they're like, oh, that'd be cool. So I put their names on it and what they won and the date and where it was from and stuff. So it was a fun one. Yeah. But that's about it other than foam. I did do a couple banners this week. And I do have a local restaurant getting an epoxy sign, so that'll be a fun one too.
Did you say banners out of foam or foam and banners?
Foam and banners. Yeah, not.
Okay, I was going to say, I was like, banners out of foam?
Yeah.
Do tell.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. But nope, just regular banners and foam. So.
Okay, let's try that again.
Somebody's watching me. It's my anxiety.
I had to switch it up because I didn't want it to be the same sound bite again.
You already showed your hand.
I already did. All right. So, Jeremy, how we do this is we shout out makers throughout the community. I'll start with one, and then I'll move to you, and then Alex, and round robin, so on. So the first one I have this week is she is a cartoonist who, she's making art still. Her name is Meg from Meg's Mashables. And what's really exciting about her, she's one of my favorite people to watch reels on YouTube because she laughs throughout her whole reels. It's such a joy. You can't not watch her reel and either laugh or smile because of how joyful she is in them. But she is she also on YouTube, Alex?
Oh, I thought you said that she's on YouTube.
No, I said reels on. So did I say YouTube?
At one point.
You said
you did.
I have reels on Instagram.
I'm trying to put notes in here if someone's on a certain platform so I can tag them properly. Okay,
that
so
was my bad. She's on Instagram. Yeah, reels on Instagram. Anywho,
okay.
She specifically draws mashup things. So think like one of the ones she did recently was Platypus and Stitch, and Stitchus, or Pleditch or something like that. And so that's what she names them. So like she did Stitch and Toothless. So it was Stitchless from and they're just, she makes stickers and plushies and cards and other stuff out of them, but they're freaking hysterical. Right now she's going to be at Seattle's Comic-Con, which my wife and I are going to next month. And so I'm excited, one, to meet her and see her there, but two, she's been doing a whole special sticker pack just for ECC, which is items or creatures mashed with Bigfoot. And so she did a manta ray Bigfoot. She had a Finding Nemo or a clownfish and Bigfoot. And like, so she has this big wheel that she spins with random animals, and whatever pops up is what she mashes it with. It's funny. The reels are hysterical. So that is my first one.
That reminds me of the if you've ever messed around with I can't remember what its name was, but it's the like you select two Pokemon and then it like auto generates the end result. So it sounds exactly like that, but with a much wider scope of animals and characters. So that sounds like a lot of fun.
That does sound cool.
Jeremy, what about you?
We'll go with Honest Hands Studios. James over there, scroll saw artist, did just get a laser. He's had a laser, but he just got a bigger laser. Doing some bigger backlit stuff and everything down. I mean, everything he posts is so quality. The editing's phenomenal and just really fun to watch. Really motivating. He's got a very neo-traditional tattoo vibe to most of his products too, old school emo kind of stuff. So his stuff's really cool. So that's who I'm gonna shout
So
out
like
first.
more 90s style.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like his he just did a big traditional rose LED sign out of acrylic on the laser and stuff. So I mean it's big, so it's pretty cool. He's out of Canada.
Nice. All right, first one that I've got is Icosa Woodworxs. So they made this really awesome. They referred to it as a hollow form, but it's kind of like a bowl or a vase, but the kind with like a very narrow opening at the top. And so it is Oregon black walnut, and it has so imagine like a bowl with a smooth surface, but then they went through and then they added in basically if you've ever seen kind of like the oval shaped leaves on any types of trees that kind of oval shape and then kind of go to a point on the end, it was almost that shape carved into it into a nice continuous pattern that was very intentional. There weren't like I'm just using the leaf as like a overall shape because they didn't have like any stems or anything like that, but that's just the shape that it reminded me of. So it just had these really fun organic shapes that were carved into it, and the craftsmanship on the texture and the finish on it were just very well done. So it's just really nice to see something just so well crafted and put together that just looks stunning.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. My next one is, and I'm going to mispronounce as always, he Cheryl Ropo. I have no idea.
Herschel Shapiro.
Herschel Shapiro. Thank you.
Maybe that's it. I don't know. That's just what I see.
Yeah, let's call it is. Really cool reel. He was doing CNC fourth axis cutting, and made like 100+ of these double leaf leaves on a hexagon base. Yeah, made out of sapele, and then he puts them on a base that he wired with lights, and that color changes. So he put it in a pattern that looks like a flower color burst, and then the lights underneath it light up between the petals. It is so cool. It's a really amazing piece of work art. But the fact that seeing somebody do fourth axis CNC which doesn't get a lot of love out there, it was really cool. Definitely a super high-end piece. I can't wait to see them do more with this.
Did you happen to click on his website?
Mm-mm.
His other work is so cool too. Oh yeah, I was drooling over that stuff the other day. A lot of color gradients and that kind of stuff as well, which is really cool.
Yeah, I'll have to go check that out.
Oh, I guess I'm gonna shout out Porter with Frigate Customs. He's actually a Florida guy. He's right by Wisebond, so he does. He just did a couple things for the Atlanta Braves, and he's up and coming, really trying hard with the content creation. He just did this real big charcuterie board, I guess it would be, serving tray kind of thing. Had the Atlanta Braves logo in it, and he's doing good work. He's hanging in there, and he actually just broke his foot, so he's kind of laid up
That
a little
sucks.
bit. But yeah, he was walking out of his shop too, but at least it's warm there. But he's using a Thunder laser, doing a lot of the um, Harbor Freight mini toolboxes as well, which are coming out really cool. Laser in the tops of those with some leather inserts and stuff. So they're really neat.
I actually have another person that's in Andy Bird's Builds coaching group that I'm part of. He is doing those laser tops on the Harbor Freight little boxes. He's actually going to be doing his first market here soon, and it's a car show, and so he was talking about that
cool.
in our coaching session this week. But yeah, really cool. I had never thought about that before, but it's a huge, like, there's a lot of want for those custom little boxes. So
something you can tell him too for the car show guys. Have you seen that they're putting like speakers and like control knobs and everything on those yet? Have you seen those?
I haven't seen that yet.
They're making it like a full-on like boombox out of them. It's got the control knobs, all the controllers, the digital output. They're really cool. So that might be good for the car guys. Do some kind of laser engraving.
Stereo. Yeah. I'll let them know.
For sure.
My mind goes to the Corvette guys who do like make their own like one of one plaque to say that their Corvette is like super unique because of whatever. So we could make plaques for the super pretentious Corvette guys who think their Corvette is a one of one. So because everyone thinks theirs is a one of one. So that generic trope.
Skechers and tall white socks.
Exactly. And the jeans and everything. I love seeing all of the memes that have been going around with those lately, where they take the it's the baby dinosaur from, I can't remember the name of the 90s show, but yeah, those have sparked great joy in me. So okay, my next one is Arcburn Furniture. So they made this painted steel chair. And it's got a yellowish orange color to it on like I think it was the legs, if I remember right. And then like on the backing it had more green colors, and this is like a Philadelphia inspired chair. And so they've got the Philadelphia Eagle on there, and it actually has it carrying in one of its talons a Philly cheesesteak. And then on the backside, it's got one of the pictures of Frank from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's the one where he's like wearing that, like, I think it's like the white wig that's kind of like poofy. So it's just all this wonderful like Philadelphia references. So it just turned out really cool. So I just thought it was really awesome and a lot of fun.
That is awesome. My next one is excuse me, Mr. Period Open Wood. They created a really cool. Have you seen those? It's like it's a magnet thing. I'm not going to describe this well. It is a walnut base with a carved airplane, and it's one of those like magic things where it's supposed to be flying on its own. And what it is he put magnets inside the airplane, inside the base, and then attaches a little fishing line to the airplane. So it looks like the airplane is just flying on its own, but it's being attracted to the magnet in the base that's above it as well. So it's really cool. It's a beautiful piece of walnut carved airplane and base, and it's kind of fun being able to watch them spin the airplane and have it, spin around. So yeah, it's a neat project.
That is cool.
Yeah,
That reminds me of your
because I
UFOs.
shouted out someone who did one 2 episodes ago, Mr.
You
Duffy.
did?
Yes, I did. It was a different person, but it was like the exact same concept. I mean, obviously they're going to be slightly different, but I'm gonna count that on my tally of things you have stole from me and what you watch. No, it counts. It counts.
It does not count.
Yes, it does.
Was it an airplane?
Yes, it was an airplane.
Was it out of walnut?
I don't remember.
Well,
It
see,
was,
then it wasn't.
Dibby was the person. No, I'm gonna look it up now because I want this to count because you, sir, are a thief.
I'm
So
not
I'm
a
gonna
thief.
pull it up right now. It probably
while he
had.
Complains.
No, you don't get time to do your try to make. Yes, it is out of walnut. It is out of walnut.
Did Mr. Openwood like repost it or something? That would be funny.
I don't know.
Yeah,
no
I'm gonna look
hate
it
to
up
him.
now.
Just to you for
just
shouting
just
out
to
and-
me.
Yeah, just to you.
Nope. Is this the same one you're seeing?
It's pretty darn close.
It's but it's
That
not
one-
the same.
no.
Okay.
Okay, I'll put up the one that I had. Oh crap, I lost it because I was looking at the other one.
Ha.
See, this one was more of a like a single engine plane. The one that you had was more like a commercial airliner.
Yep.
Crap, my
Yep.
light is getting it
I,
bad.
I see it though.
Oh,
There we go.
Yep. Similar. I did not steal it then.
Because it's never happened that two people have made a similar thing in woodworking.
No.
It never
No.
happens. So this is the first
Never.
that it's ever occurring.
Yeah, never.
All right, now that the thief is gone, Jeremy, what's your next one?
Brian, with 9 Strong Creations. He's been posting these jokes lately, and it's just one of those things when I'm scrolling through TikTok or Instagram and come across one of those. They're dad jokes. They're funny. You know, it just livens up the mood. And he posts some cool stuff, makes a lot of cutting boards and that kind of thing. He's working on a dust collector setup for his CNC right now. So shout out him and all 9 of his fingers.
All 9 of them.
All 9 of them.
All right. Next one that I have is from David Beckwith Makes. So this one is a very narrow side table. And so what he did was he made cutouts, circular cutouts of ebonized red oak. And the way that he stacked them and then put them together, because I think he did all of it. I think he did all of it on the CNC. But anyway, it makes this kind of like hourglass shape. And then the very top and then the very bottom are maple. And then he's got in the reel where he has this, he's got a lamp on there, and the lamp's power cord comes directly down, and so he had cut a hole in there on the top of this little side table, so that cord is basically hidden as it goes through the center of this like little side table. So just like little cool things like that. It really cool shape. So altogether, a really fun, awesome looking project.
My last one is somebody I have shouted out before, which is Forge Core Co. He has released his next 3D printed book. So he's done 9 so far now of these 3D printed books that open up and become games. So the last one was Connect 4. This one is that ring toss drinking game, where you toss a ring and it hits on a hook. You move the thing forward, and whoever gets it all the way to the end first has to take a shot. So yeah, it's really cool. It opens up and then it like telescopes up, so you can put the rings and the loops and everything. So I was really impressed. So yeah, he's 9 books in, 9 games in now. So yeah, Jeremy.
I wrote down 3, but I'm going to go with my last one will be Custom Grains. They're out of Minnesota, and Chance is his name. He's a good guy, but he makes some of the funniest hat patches, shirts. He's doing a lot of DTF, a lot of decals that way. His whole backstory, I met him probably in 2021 when I got my first CNC, because he had a enclosure on his CNC and he was working out of a 2-car garage, and I wanted an enclosure until I had an enclosure, and then I realized that I didn't want an enclosure anymore. But he's now got employees and a big shop and running a bunch of lasers and that kind of stuff. So his stuff's super funny and very comical.
All right. Last one that I have is RP Basilio, and they are making this really beautiful marquetry piece for the One Love installation that's going in at the Texas Children's Hospital that is in Austin. So I don't know a whole lot about that art installation or program, but of what they did say, it was they'd have 72 marquetry artists contributing towards it. So his portion of it is called Wonder, and it's this little mouse that is floating in the night sky in a hot air balloon, and it's just awesome. Like, I just love the great grain orientation, and the colors and everything just come together so well. It looks like it's straight out of a children's book. It's so well done.
Nice.
So I really love that piece. So I'm glad that you've got good people doing things like this for children's hospitals. So I think it's gonna look great once they get all that art pieces installed in that hospital.
Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for ads.
So,
I didn't
advertising.
get that reference. Time for what?
Ads.
Oh, I didn't. Sorry.
It's an old commercial about the commercial to advertise the Super Bowl commercials back from the 90s.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yep. I try and switch up my sounds on Alex all the time, Jeremy, just to
Oh yeah, got to
knows.
keep him on his toes.
Got to get those references.
He didn't know that.
Anyway, tonight's main topic is all about advertising as a small business. So Alex is over here changing my language in my notes.
I'm spell checking your stuff because you cannot spell to save your life.
No, I
It
can't.
bothers me.
Thank you. I have very bad dyslexia.
Well,
Thank
it's
you for-
enraging my tism, so you've got one neurodivergent disorder fighting against another.
Apparently. I am not the notes here. I said biz cards as in BIS, and he had to change it to BIZ. Technically,
BIZ.
BIS is the proper spelling if I was to spell out business. Thank you,
Oh,
Alex.
you spell business BISINESS. That's how you spell business,
Yes,
not BUSINESS.
because I can't spell.
Bus cards.
We just covered this. Bus
Bro,
cards.
you are not gonna win in this challenge. It's not gonna end well for you.
Anyways, tonight's main topic is advertising as a small business. I wanted to talk about this with Jeremy mainly because you've done a lot of advertising. You've made banners, and I know you used to work for a print shop and that kind of stuff. And so, or ran a print shop. And yeah, so I know. So basically, I just wanted to have a discussion about advertising as a small business. Like, what do you guys do for your businesses? I know for me, like, I don't do advertising. I do marketing, sort of, which, the two separate. Like, I hand out business cards and I have my logo. I do passive. So I have like my logo and a QR code on the back of my truck so people can see it as I drive around town, which probably isn't a good thing because I'm a bad driver, but I speed a lot. My wife
Is it spelled right?
would agree to that. It is spelled right. I know how to spell my own name and woodcraft.
Show us a picture.
I will. Fine.
Prove
I'll
it.
go out there right now in the dark, in the rain, and take a photo for you.
Dark and in the rain. It's only like 6:15 where you are.
Yeah, it's dark. It's February,
No.
man.
No, it's not dark. I'm gonna look it up right now.
All right, boy.
Sunset.
I'm gonna
the
prove we're
sunset
fighting
time.
tonight. Apparently, here, look.
The girls are fighting.
There is the picture from my window right now. It is dark. The lights are on, and it is raining. Booyah!
Ah, damn it. 5:51
Missed
is when
couple
the
minutes.
sun sets over there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're only 25 minutes off.
Anywho,
But you
so
still-
like I
you
do
still get- you
that
still get sunlight after that.
not when
It's
it's
still
cloudy
light
and
out.
raining. And it's I also do, so I've had Jeremy make vinyl signs for me. And so I have multiple vinyl signs that I use for different seasons. So I have a summer one and I have a winter one, basically, because they have different products on them. And the summer one is usually when I do my Bigfoot and UFO fests. So they have more of the cryptid stuff, where my winter one is more of like the gift items for the Christmas stuff. So,
Jeremy, did you spell check his signs?
I didn't, because he
You just-
sent me that.
you just
so
print
if it was
exactly
spelled
what he
wrong, that's
sends.
on him. Yeah, that was on him.
you know,
It'll be like an elf when they hand him the book and they're like, "Why are there 2 blank pages missing? Is that your
Okay.
signature right there?"
Yep.
So, funny story, real quick,
I do-
about my
I do have a
horrible
funny
spelling,
story.
because this did just come up. So this weekend, because I had the market, I was posting on Andy Bird's Discord about my market setup and everything about that, and somebody goes, "Hey, did you mean to spell also wrong?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And I had to zoom in on the photo, and he was talking specifically about this little sign that is on my little register box that says, you know, we take credit card and PayPal and thing, and also blah blah blah. And it, because dyslexia, I have it ASLO,
Aslo.
you know, ASLO. I've had that damn thing for 3 years.
Is that the
My
updated version of ASL from AIM back in the day, or?
But I've had that card now for 3 years. My wife has never seen that spelling error, and she sees it multiple times. Not a single customer has ever seen that spelling error and mentioned it. Like, it's been 3 years of every single market, and it's so funny that some guy on Reddit, or on Discord, was like zooming in on the photo and being like, "Hey, look, you misspelled that." So yeah,
Wonderful.
there's my misspelling. All right, Jeremy, what was your funny story?
I was just gonna say, next time you send a banner you need, I'm just gonna switch it up and see if you find it. See how long it takes. Switch up the spelling on your.
I
fine.
won't ever notice. That's the thing. I won't ever know.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
as Mr. Duffy alluded to, obviously there's a little bit of a delineation that I'm not suing too far into the weeds on the marketing versus advertising. I know that there's a distinction in that. My understanding is that marketing is more of like the overarching, how you present your business, general strategy, and like brand awareness and customer acquisition and stuff like that. Whereas advertising is much more specific, because like you think of like the stuff that you put out there, whether it's ad space that you're paying for or it's something that you're presenting to show what it is that you are offering. So it's like all of the stuff that they have on Mad Men that they presented there for when they were advertising, you know, you're an ad man, right? For all the advertising stuff. And I think one of the things is understanding who your customer is, so then you know how to present it to them. And you don't have to know exactly who they are, but sometimes you don't know as you're first getting into it, like what type of person your customer is. Because like if you look at the customer for Duffy Woodcraft for like cryptid stuff, it's like, okay, you can probably envision like your typical customer in your mind. Like not everyone's going to be like the exact same, but like at
Are
certain
we
like age
stereotyping here, Alex?
there's a fine line between stereotyping and customer personas.
I'm like,
it's a
tread
little
very
bit.
carefully about my Portland keep it weird people right now.
No, I'm not going to try and insult them. It's just like you'll generally have people of like a certain age range, or sometimes you have more men versus women in a certain demographic. Because like, so back when I did
My YouTube demographics.
some, yeah, you think about that. But so like back when I had I ran a business doing video analysis of like rodeo events. There were like several different personas where it's like you could pick someone out of the crowd based on that description, where it was like, okay, you've got like the high school girl whose parents like buy the horse and do all this stuff for them. You've got the like middle-aged divorced women who are there. Like you can generally like look at people and say, okay, this is most likely going to be someone who is like, you understand at least how to initiate that conversation if you're like at a booth or interacting with people, is like a starting point, because you don't know everything about your customers. You know a certain amount, and sometimes that can be a good starting point of how you have that discussion with them, whether it be online or offline. And you can make recommendations off of stuff as you have that interaction with them, because it's like, okay, if you're at your market and they're attracted to, say, like a Pokemon keychain of some kind that you have, that's a signal to you to say, hey, I saw that you're looking at that Pokemon keychain. I have a couple of other Pokemon items over here if you want to look at those as well, because as they're scanning through everything, they may not have time to look at everything. So if you can help them see what it is they might be looking for based on the limited amount of information that you know about them, you can help get them something that they like, as well as increase your sales. So in a nutshell, just getting to understand your customer so then you can present to them can definitely help out tremendously, because I'm sure we all know, like, you can put a lot of work into marketing and advertising, and you just got to be able to make the most of what you have. And then you can understand from there what types of habits these people have in terms of like, are they on social media platforms? Are they only on, are they only at like physical events? Are they on Etsy? Are they on, do they find you by like Google search, or do they go through like and look at stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and that's where they look and where they live? So kind of understanding that person can help you whittle down which platforms or which way of interacting customers make the most sense and get you the most bang for your buck, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Do either of you actively advertise?
I mean, I just advertise like on my vehicles, both my car and my wife's car. Both has, decals. Other than that, like I leave business cards. Like there's a spot at my gym. I leave business cards there. Um, there's a couple other small little like coffee shops and stuff like that around here that I leave some business cards at. But other than that, no. I try to advertise in the background of the content I post because got a couple banners hanging up and that kind of stuff. But other than that, not really. I don't do a lot
So
of
early
markets or anything
on,
like that either.
yeah, so early on, I did a decent amount of trying a couple of different platforms for me. And a lot of this stuff, like the type of customer has changed a little bit for me. So that's why I haven't been doing a whole lot of this stuff more recently, because like I'm kind of changing the products that I'm offering a little bit. So it's going to be a different approach. So I haven't pushed it super hard. But a couple things that I did was like, depending on how your local chamber of commerce is set up, like you're listed as like a business on there, because sometimes people find businesses that way when they're like trying to find a particular person to do something for them, and they might look up that directory. The challenging thing with the local chamber of commerce is that becoming a member just allows you the opportunity to get nickeled and dimed for even more advertising stuff for them, is what it's been my experience. So like they've got newsletters or mailers or like other stuff that they'll do for you to advertise, because they're like the Chamber of Commerce, like, I mean, that's how they generate revenue, is through membership fees and then tack-ons for advertising for those businesses. Now, I'm not saying that it's like inherently bad. I'm just saying be prepared to spend more than just the membership fee if you are going to be going that route. And it may make sense for you to be in that space. It may not, because if you are focused on business customers, it could probably be a good thing, because you're getting interactions at like mixers and other events that Chamber of Commerce likely is putting on. So if you are doing more B2B type sales, that might be more beneficial for you. It just kind of depends on how that Chamber of Commerce operates. And I have done a little bit with like a print magazine for a short duration of time, but since what I was advertising then was bigger furniture pieces, it was tough, because that's a longer lead time item, and you've got to be running those like physical print ads for a while to get that into someone's head before they're ready to actually purchase it. Because you have this all the time at like you'd see it all the time with like furniture stores, where it's like, okay, like who comes into the door to buy furniture? They may have been thinking about this for like months on end, but today is the day that they actually decided to walk in. So you're like, people are going to be at various stages of like thinking about stuff before they actually buy. And if you have a long lead item, or like a bigger ticket item, you might have to advertise longer in order to get that return on investment back, regardless of what that platform is. Because you can also do like Facebook Marketplace postings where you're advertising stuff that way. I have not personally used Facebook or Instagram ads, but I know of other people who have utilized them. I don't know what level of success they've had with those. And then I think the only other thing I can think of is like creating your own email list with customers. If you ask them if they want to opt in to like see new stuff for you, that's a good way to build up a customer base, is building up an email list, which is, I don't know if an email list technically counts under advertising. I think it might be more of a marketing thing. I think it might just kind of depend on the type of email that you'd be composing. But like I said, there's a whole host of options, and it just kind of depends on what you understand about the habits of those customers. And don't be afraid to ask those customers when they do buy something, like, hey, how did you come across us, or something like that. Because if they tell you, oh yeah, I just searched, like if you're on Etsy, it's like, oh yeah, I just searched for XYZ on Etsy and that's how I found you. That helps you understand how they're getting to you and how they're being presented to you. Because if you put yourself in their shoes, you can tweak what it is you're putting out there so that you show them what it is that they're looking for, so they can make that decision on whether, yes, they want to buy this, or no, it's not for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know for me, like I don't actively advertise other, like as far as like print magazine or billboards or things like that. Like, but I there are some like Reddit area groups in my area and Facebook Marketplace, or not Marketplace, but Facebook groups in my area that do Maker. One does Maker Mondays and the other one does Small Business Fridays, and where you can just post, you know, about your business. And so I do that every week in the groups just to kind of advertise out there that, hey, local woodworker, I'm here. You can find me to do this kind of stuff. So that helps me get some things in the area. And then, I mean, markets for me are my biggest advertising as far as how I meet people. Same with and some retail, like the beach location. When she's open again, she usually has a sign up of like next to all my products that has, you know, my picture and about the maker and information with a QR code to my website. So, yeah.
Do you want me to proofread those for you?
Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm going to fire both of you here soon. And this, to me, classifies as
emotional damage.
because you're both my friends and I'm getting torn up. No. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is that, I mean, getting referrals is, I mean, just having work that's good for the clients will also speak for itself, because there's a lot of people who like operate mostly off of referrals. So that can also be an avenue for you to continue out there, because it's definitely a lot slower, but it gets you really good leads that are they don't really take a lot of coaxing to actually get to a sale, because it's a much more qualified lead. Because if someone asks like, oh, hey, where did you get that thing from, because they're interested in it, like they may have been thinking about it again for, you know, months on end. They wanted this thing, and then now they've found a way to get what they want. And so then you just need to be ready for that inbound lead. It's more on the like the outbound leads where you're like actively looking to get more, where it's like, you know, because like, for example, like some people will do ads on Etsy where they know for X amount of dollars spent on ads on Etsy, they will get X amount of revenue back. So they understand very well, like, all right, if I spend more on ad revenue based on historical past performance of this particular product, you're going to get X amount of revenue back. And as long as it's, you're not losing money on that, you're doing well. So in those scenarios, it's not bad because you have to spend money, but you do have a good understanding of how much money goes in for that expense, and then how much money you generate in terms of revenue. Because the nice thing there is that you can basically choose how much, I mean, this is dependent on a few factors, but you can basically choose how much expense you want to push into that to generate a certain amount of revenue. As long as you've got the capacity to fulfill that, you can continue to grow and fulfill that as you've got the capacity to continue to produce whatever product that is. But I do also go to, especially early on, I did a lot of in-person networking events, because like a lot of these organizations will have those, you know, either happy hours or other types of events where you can hand out the business card and talk one-on-one with people, which I find a lot easier, just because you've got a little bit more time to explain stuff, and you can show them examples of work. So you've got a little bit more time, but it takes more time on you to go out and actually do that. Because I do actually have a networking group that I'm a part of, where that's something that meets on a weekly basis, and we talk about new stuff that we're offering, so that other people in that group, as they hear stuff, they can be like, oh yeah, this person in my networking group, they offer this, that sounds like that would work for you. So there's a couple of different networking groups that exist. Some of them are more regional than others, but if that works into your schedule, that can be a great way to interact with people, because you can find different people, especially if it's like business owners. It's a lot easier in those networking groups, because for them it's a business decision. Like for your realtor guy that got like all of the cheese pokers or whatever they were, I forget already, for them it's like, okay, I want to have a gift for this. There's enough revenue from each sale that I'm willing to spend X amount of dollars on a gift to continually grow their own business. So for them, it's less of a emotional purchase, and it's more of a business decision, where it's like it just makes sense for them. So there's not as much convincing in there. So if you can, if you do have a business segment that you're selling to, sometimes it can be a little bit easier. But the other thing too is that when it gets going, you've got to be able to produce and deliver on timelines to be able to maintain that relationship. So there's some components of that come along with those business customers that are repeat customers.
Our local
Jeremy,
chamber has. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say our local chamber has like lunches. There's 2 different chambers right by me. And when I did own the print shop, they met and it was awesome. Like it was good networking because you build a reputation with them. So all of their clients that are asking for, a product that you might offer, they're like, oh yeah, I know a guy. He's in my networking group. So it just branches out way quicker, or it worked way quicker for us over there. So
Yeah, and especially if you've got people that are in that networking group that are adjacent to you, because like we had someone who joined our networking group recently that is more carpentry remodeling type stuff, and so you can get people coming in asking for stuff, and if it's not in your wheelhouse, you have someone to refer it to, and that's a two-way street. Because I had someone reach out recently who was asking about like remaking like this like curved handrail in their house, and it's like if I was like super tight and I like needed this business, it would be something that I would reluctantly accept, but would be very difficult for me to do. But instead I was able to refer that to that other person and be like, this person is much better equipped to do the type of stuff that you're looking for. Because it's like, I might be able to do this, but it's going to be probably much more expensive than that other person because I'm just not set up for that kind of stuff. Or, you end up underbidding it, and because you don't know enough about that particular space, that you end up with a much lower margin than you anticipate on that work. So if you understand the type of customer that you have, it can help you hand that off to someone who might be better equipped to handle that and not be a drag on your own production timeline schedule that slows you down from doing something that you're much better adept at handling.
yeah, and it'll funnel like good vibes to that person because you're throwing them work, and they'll be more apt to throw you work at that point as well.
Yeah, and if you understand that mutual relationship, you can do just fine. Because it's like because basically what I tell people that are in the like carpentry space and remodeling, like basically what I tell them is I do more freestanding stuff. Generally speaking, if you're like opening up into a wall or going down to studs, like that's the kind of stuff that like I don't like to do. Like I'm not a cabinetry guy. Like probably the most overlap that I have with that type of person is like wall mounted shelving is probably the most overlap. And when it comes down to it, it's like it's one thing if they get something but they don't refer it to me. Like I'm not going to lose sleep over that type of stuff, especially if it's something that needs to be like scribed to a wall where it's like, yep, I don't want to deal with that, so I'm fine with letting go of that stuff, which can be hard if you're early on and like you're looking for any source of revenue. But once you do get into a little bit more of a groove, it's nice to be able to say no to certain things because you know that that's not an avenue you want to go down, and you can double down in a space that makes more sense for you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I was going to ask Jeremy, when you were doing the print shop, like, and saw other businesses coming in, what were some of the like tactics that people were using, or things that you saw that they would order a lot of to advertise?
A lot of that, a lot of direct mail was just coming in real big, and I've been out of the business for 4 or 5 years now, and I mean it changes quite frequently, but direct mail, where it was like a postcard that it went in every mailbox on that mail route. So you'd pick a zip code, pick an area, and then you could just flood every mailbox with I was doing a lot of 4x6 postcards, has coupons on it. but you make them a little bit different size than an envelope, so they stick out when people, grab all their mail, and it doesn't just get lost in the other junk mail. But a lot of that email marketing was big. um I know we pushed that a lot. Like Alex had said, it was just, you know get a list and then push out new products. Once a month you could push out a coupon, or it really depends on what you're after there. But um sold a lot of business cards. Vehicle magnets were pretty big, but other than that, yard signs, but nothing real crazy either.
Yeah, because physical print media can be very effective if you know how to utilize it. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily like something that's dead. It just has to compete against a lot of different other things. Because like, especially if you do more local work and you know that you operate within like a certain zip code or something like that, I mean, that can be an effective way to let people know that you're there. You just have to be have a little bit of thick skin on that, because you're gonna know going into it that like a certain amount of that is gonna go into the trash or not really get looked at. But it just becomes a sales funnel at that point where you understand, okay, for this many mailers that I send out, like I might get a response rate of, who knows, 10%, 5%, something like that. And then maybe half or a quarter of those actually end up buying something. And so then you kind of start putting that in your mind of like, okay, if I do a campaign of this certain amount, this is roughly what I could potentially expect in business to coming in. So you can balance that with what your capacity is. And of course, it's not like hard and fast, but you have a general idea of what to do approach wise, so that you understand, yep, if I put this much money into doing this stuff, again, like I mentioned with that Etsy example, you have a better understanding of what to estimate in terms of revenue from that actual event. And I mean, it's similar with the markets that Alex goes to, where he has a rough idea based on past historical performance of what to expect revenue wise. Does that always line up with that? Not always. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're less, and he's got to evaluate and keep up to date with what's working and what's not working, because he's mentioned many times about events where it's like they've grown and they've done great and they are thriving, and then others that are on the the downward slope that are not worth it anymore. So that's another thing too, is to keep in mind that you need to periodically evaluate what's working and what's not working, so then you can keep that either budget or time that you spend on marketing or advertising in a space that, or in an avenue that is still generating revenue for you. So taking a step back and looking at how it's actually performing is a good thing to do, so that you don't end up just throwing money in the trash bin because something doesn't work the way it used to.
Then diminishing
I think
returns is a huge thing with advertising that you want to stay away from, like that. I have that issue with my website too. Like right now I have a website I paid a lot of money for, and it's definitely still not bringing in money enough to cover it. But I know that it is advertising that is out there for me. It's SEO is a huge thing when people are looking for somebody new. So, and I do sell files and some products on it, but not nearly as much as I would like to. So yeah, it's diminishing returns is what I'm trying to say is, yeah, you do have to reevaluate those regularly.
I was going to say, with like the direct mail, I think they said that you have to hit a house 6 times for them to recognize your name. So you don't have to send 6 different pieces, whether it's 6 weeks in a row or whatnot, just for them
It's
to
a
be
half
like,
dozen
oh,
eggs for each house.
right.
So you're saying I have to cut somebody off on the highway 6 times before they remember my company logo on the back of my truck?
Yep.
Good to know.
Yep.
Pretty much.
I'll use that. I'll tell my wife that next time.
Yeah. Nope. That was only 5. We're good.
Yeah.
It's like fouls
No.
in basketball. You have to get to so many before they start shooting free throws.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anybody else have anything else to bring up in our topic here?
No, I've rambled enough. People are probably tired of me.
No one gets tired of you.
Never.
Yeah.
Good news, everyone.
Let's see. We've got Sparks and Sawdust coming up March 21st and 22nd. CNC Summit is coming up April 3rd and 4th. I have that memorized, Alex. But yeah, those are the next closest two events. And I guess the AWP Midwest Maker Meetup is going to be in May. But
It's May 2nd, the first weekend. So it'll be a weekend affair.
Mm-hmm. Those are the news items that I see are relevant. Do you guys have anything maker news that you've seen in the community?
No, I'm super excited for the CNC Summit, though. I will say that.
It's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of cool people to listen to, not just me. I don't want to hear me. I want to hear the other cool people.
I don't want to hear you either. He's probably going to steal something from me and package it up as his own.
Yeah,
Yes,
he'll steal
I will
from
do
you
that.
and
I'm
spell
going
it
to try
wrong.
and find something now to do that just to mess with you.
That's going to be difficult because I don't have a CNC yet. So
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to make you work really hard to do that.
All right, I'll steal foam stuff from Jeremy.
Crap.
Yeah.
It's
do that.
FOAM.
All right. Well, you know who else can't spell? Our patrons.
You don't know that.
Oh, everyone has
Dare you
spelling
make
problems.
that acquisitions?
I will make that acquisition.
I mean, accusation.
Yes. You said acquisition. I knew what you meant.
No, I didn't. How dare you? Oh my gosh. Oh man. I don't even know if I want to do it now. Okay, patreon.com/whatchamakinshow, or if you're in the Patreon app, you can search What You Making Show. But you got to spell it correct for it to come up. So if you can't spell, then tough luck. You may have a difficult time finding it.
Yeah. Jeremy, where can people find you?
Instagram, 1010 Woodworxs with an X. Facebook, same. TikTok, and YouTube.
And tell us about your podcast?
Oh yeah, we're gonna be starting the Against the Grain podcast. I've been doing some little Mindset Monday motivational things every Monday, just doing the short form. Looking to start some longer form stuff here very soon. So it is called Against the Grain, and it's just living life against the grain, you know.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for watching and or listening, whatever floats your boat. And remember,
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
good night, everybody.
Night, night.
Thanks, guys.
Is it against water popped grain or just regular grain?